Animal inspectors were stunned to find scenes of horror at a Cornwall farm where rotting lambs' carcasses were found, a court heard. Surviving sheep were found lame and stumbling on bloodied feet, and distressing images reveal the shocking conditions which animals lived in. On one visit, stunned inspectors discovered a pool of blood where lambs' tails had been sliced off without anesthetic, Cornwall Live reports. Details of the horror scenes were heard as the owner of the farm, William Thomas Gerald Benny, pleaded guilty to 5 charges at Bodmin Magistrates Court. At one point during the case he appeared to laugh, and the judge had to warn him, "I don't find any of this funny at all." The court heard Benny, 76, of Trees Farm, Cray Cross, was a proud and well-respected member of the agricultural community. He was the 3rd generation of his family at Trees Farm and had worked there for 60 years, from the age of 16. He had won numerous prizes for his sheep at shows and during his career had been at times a president of Helston Fat Stock Show, parish councillor and village hall committee chairman. However, the court heard Benny had become unwell in recent years and admitted he could no longer care for the sheep. Benny pleaded guilty to failing to prevent unnecessary suffering to his sheep, docking tails without anesthetic, failing to treat lameness in the animals, failing to record the medicine used on the flock and failing to dispose of 35 sheep carcasses. At one point in the hearing, Benny appeared to chuckle and was severely reprimanded by Judge Diane Baker, who said to him, "I don't find any of this funny at all. You should listen carefully to what's been said and not make any funny noises or shake your head." Later, Benny became tearful as the full evidence was read out. Kingsley Keat, prosecuting on behalf of Cornwall Council, said an animal welfare inspector and a vet visited the farm in March where they found the bodies and skeletal remains of 35 lambs and sheep. He said, "Many were very decomposed, indicated that they had been there a long time. They were scattered across the fields. Some of the newborn lambs appear to have got stuck in the mud and died as a result." He said out of 120 sheep, a quarter were found to be lame and bleeding from foot rot. One animal had pus oozing from a swollen leg. Mr. Keats said Benny had told the inspectors he had been unable to care for the animals for 2 weeks as he had flu, had hurt his knee and was suffering from sheep dip poisoning. He said Benny had asked a friend to look after the animals but admitted she did not have any experience of caring for sheep. Mr. Keats said on a later visit in August, the inspectors found Benny had recently used a carving knife to dock the tails of lambs without anesthetic, which is against the law. Defense solicitor Robert Eccleston said, "Mr. Benny has been farming for 60 years and this is the only business he's known. He initially assisted his parents and ultimately took control of the undertaking himself. For Mr. Benny, being here today is a sad fall from grace." He added, "It's been his advancing years and the disintegration of both his physical and mental health that have contributed substantially to him being before you today and being unable to care for his animals as he would wish." He said Benny suffered from a heart problem and chronic fatigue. Judge Baker said to Benny, "If you had been a younger man, I would be sending you straight out that door to immediate custody. I do think your offending crosses the custody threshold, but because of your age, your previous good character and health difficulties, I am going to suspend the period of imprisonment." She added, "This is one of the worst animal welfare cases I have recently dealt with. It involves a large number of animals and a long period of neglect." Benny was sentenced to a total of 4 months in prison, suspended for 2 years. He was also banned from keeping sheep or cattle for 10 years and must pay prosecution costs of £6,329.